Okay. Cheese.
Mustache.
5.
Saints on Tap, previewing all things Jaguars and all the big storyline with the Saints.
That's good. Try that. 5.
Welcome to Saints on Tap. I'm Joe Simeone. He's John Wiener. We're going to be talking as much Saints and drinking as much beer as we can in 15 minutes.
We got a big new show for you guys this week. We got some added elements. Of course, we're going to preview the Jags game and Saints in our On Tap segment. Play a little drinking game. I think we have new drinking games. We may have like some arms and some bags coming out, man. Like, who knows? This show's getting bigger and better than ever. Going to say cheers to our Who Dat Nation fans, and certainly Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Let's get into our first pour, and simply, I don't know how you can start with anything other than the Saints are 3-0 under Teddy Bridgewater. I'm a cheers to that too, man. Like, let's get it going right away.
Teddy ball game, you got to cheers to him. I'm really excited, and I mean the Saints at this point, they're setting the pace for the rest of the NFL, and that's just insane to think about. When as soon as Drew Brees went down, this was not where I expected us to be.
Whoa! Already, cue it up. Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
That drinking game's getting to bite you, man. We're gonna drink a lot of it. But yeah, I mean, right? Like, who saw this coming?
Yeah, absolutely. And Teddy's done a fantastic job. You have to give him a lot of credit, the whole team a lot of credit, the defense, the special teams, everybody out there.
I saw an interesting stat, man. It's like, first of all, like the Cowboys saw Bear State all day. Like, they didn't play anybody the first few weeks of the season, and it showed. The Saints, among teams with a 4-1 record, have played the hardest schedule in the NFL. So not only are they doing it with a backup quarterback, they're doing it against the toughest schedule in the league. When you talk about staying ahead of the chains, it's like I'm a golfer. Like, I'm not as bad as like Houdini Hank back there. You know what I mean? But it's like they're 4 or 5 under par, like already on the front 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny when you talk about some of these teams like the Patriots and the Cowboys and all of them. A lot of the questions are, okay, but they haven't played anybody yet, so how real are they?
Yeah.
The Saints, there's no question about it. This is a real team. This is the real deal right here.
I do think, though, you got to ask some questions about the offense and like what Bridgewater's doing. I'm not saying it's like, are we talking about turning the team over to Teddy Bridgewater? But like, you pose an interesting question, man. Like, what was this good for the Saints? This loss, or the absence of number 9, Breezes.
And nice. I'll be honest with you. I think it was really good for the Saints, and it goes further than, you can talk about, like we did last week, the defense stepping up and now having the confidence to really play without Breezes. But when you talk about the offense, I think it's not like things have gotten stale, like you've been in a relationship for a long time, but I think this is
I have been in this relationship for a long time.
I think that him and Sean Payton, it kind of revitalizes things. It lets you look at some stuff that you can do differently to scheme other players open, and I think it's really going to help them when Drew Brees does come back.
We talked about, though, like what an opportunity it was, right? Like 2-3 weeks ago when number 9 went down. The guy from Purdue, you know what I mean? In that, because there's so much, like with all of these franchises, with marquee quarterbacks, how much is the quarterback? We said this is an opportunity for Sean Payton to prove what he's worth. It's an opportunity for the defense to really take the lead, and I think that they've stepped their game up because they know, look, we can't go out and rely on our guy to score 45. But also, as we talked about last week, they have game plan more to play to the defense and play more ball control.
You know what's really interesting, too? Something that we talked about during the preseason.
Everything I said? Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, something we talked about in the preseason on top of that, which just sparked this in me. We talked a lot about, the Saints and their ability to get back up after the call last year. Forget about the call. Look at wow.
I'm struggling already. I thought I was ready to go, man. I was chomping at a bit, and then the horse just fell on the track.
But forget about the call last year. They've stepped up without number 9 and have answered a bigger call, which was a huge question mark when a quarterback of that caliber goes down. So it's just funny how that works out. You talked about, can they get back up off the mat? They've done that plus some.
And that's what I mean, and almost like injecting new life into their other guys in a ways, like Michael Thomas for one. Proving this dude like DFW, man, like death and wrong in terms of Thomas being all about Breeze. I mean, he showed against Tampa, if he hadn't shown already, what an elite playmaker he is, leading the league in receptions, leading the league in yards. But chestnut checkers, when you talk about what the Patriots are doing, chestnut checkers. When you look at what Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton have done over the years, when everybody said, you need a pass rusher, you got this window with Drew Brees that's closing, what'd they do? They rebuilt the whole team. Yeah. And they extended the window with a defensive line that's as good as anybody in football and an offensive line that's playing really well. But there's one number, Joe, that sticks out to me.
Okay.
And it's a number I'd like to have in my bank account. That is not a lot in the NFL. $7 million. And you know where I'm getting at. Teddy Bridgewater is the highest paid backup in football. He turned down the Dolphins. Now, I know that to be a starter, to take $7 million to be the Saints' backup, $7 million guaranteed for this moment right here. Can you think of a better guaranteed $7 million spent in NFL history than like what Bridgewater's doing? Like, this is everything that they paid him for.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because it's both sides. The Saints made a fantastic deal, got their guy who they can rely on with, number 9 down. And on top of that, look at it from Teddy Bridgewater's perspective. Yeah. Do you want to be on that Dolphins team right now? Absolutely
it's so true.
not.
Bridgewater's like thanking the patron saints down there in New Orleans, and
look how it worked out for him.
Well, it's exciting, man. It's exciting time for Saints fans to be 4-1, and like they're even more fun to watch, right? Like some ways, like you get so used to Breeze, and to see them do it this way, to see them play such a team, aspect is it's been fun to watch for a Saints fan. And what's gonna be fun is this game down in Jacksonville on Sunday.
Yeah, let's move over to On Tap and hit it.
On tap this week, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the one and only Gardner Minshew. Minshew mania, baby. Like I want to be a Jaguars fan this year if I wasn't a Saints fan.
It's sweeping the nation right now. I mean, we got our nice mustaches on for him.
We did a good job drinking that first segment. We almost killed the pitcher in the segment. I don't know how I'm going to do with these mustaches on. How does Gardner drink? No, my mustache is falling into my beer. Let me put it back.
It's a bit of a struggle to drink with this thing on, but
the mustache is in the beer. It's another one of those Gardner Minshew memes, right? Like Gardner Minshew drinks and then like drinks the beer with his mustache. So my mustache is off. It's like soaking in beer. I'm not gonna try to put it on anymore. But
let's talk about the Jags.
So let's see what's on tap with Jacksonville. It's a 2-3 team. They're playing in Jacksonville. There's some major connections with the Saints that I want to get to, but like first of all, like the Jacksonville team, they've been close, right? They could easily be 3-2, and certainly Nick Foles going down, and Minshew's been the story. Did the line surprise you for this game at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't believe that the Saints were dogs.
I just can't take you seriously with that mustache.
Listen, I'm being very serious.
Yeah, no, you're great. You're great.
The Saints, I had a couple buddies text me and were just confused about the line, and I was just as confused as they were when I saw it that the Saints were underdogs in this game. When you look at what they've done the past few weeks, and especially Teddy having the game that he had last. Yeah. But, I mean, this is a really good Jags team.
Are they?
I mean, they've been in every game so far. I know they're 2-3, and it's a tough division that they're playing in right now. A tough loss to the Texans, which, as we know, were a very good team. Yeah. They're good, and Minshew, man.
I think part of it is people just don't really quite know what to do with the Saints team right now. Yeah. In terms of like they're 4-1, but people are like, are you really going to make a Bridgewater on the road? And when you look at the Saints statistically, which we've done, like they don't blow you away in any aspect. Sure. So I'm not sure on the line. But the story, no doubt, with the Jags, like with the mustache and everything, like is Gardner Minshew. Now, I saw Minshew, like we taped the show in Jackson, Mississippi, like Saints country totally. Gardner Minshew played up the road at Brandon, where Demario Davis played. Yeah. That's a great connection. Rod Walker with NOLA.com did a great article on their high school connection, and Demario's got the Minshew jersey hanging this week, right? And he needs to put the mustache on. Sure. But like, Minshew is absolutely like the story, not just for Jacksonville, but in the league. Like, are you surprised that he's been this good?
When they drafted him, when they took him, when he was a backup, yeah, absolutely, all of that surprised me. When he came off of the plane for his first start, dressed like an absolute rock star with the mustache and all that, no, not surprised at all. Yeah. You look like a rock star, come on. You're going to dress like that, you're going to look like that, you better back it up. And he's done that.
When you talk about Minshew, what's interesting is like here's a guy who wasn't recruited that highly out of Brandon. He ended up at Troy. Yep. He played junior college. He went to East Carolina, and then he got with Mike Leach and at Washington State, and he exploded. Right. And I'll be honest, like I was one of these guys that said, well, we've seen like Mike Leach be a wonder with a lot of these quarterbacks, and Minshew was so perfect for that system. But seeing Minshew in high school, he was the best player of the position in high school that I've ever seen. I'm not talking about athlete. I'm not talking about arm strength. Like, Minshew had to start as a freshman in Brandon. It was a similar situation, Joe. He came in, Brandon had a tenured starter. This is a big-time 6A, big boy high school football. Minshew all of a sudden has to come in as a freshman. And I was there that night, his first game, and it was the poise and the readiness and all of the things that made Minshew great in high school. His ability to operate, his poise, his awareness. You know, I think those are the intangibles that we're seeing why he's so successful in the NFL right away as a rookie, because he just has this innate ability to play the position. I'm not talking about arm strength. I'm not talking about athleticism. I mean real quarterbacking that was tangible then and is tangible now.
And all of that is great, but I'll tell you what, the Saints defensive line is going to eat that man and take off his mustache.
I love it. I'm a cheers to that. Although, man, like I don't know if I want to see the Saints defense get shredded, but like I'm team Minshew magic all the way down here, Minshew mania. Like I'm on board.
It's a fantastic story. It's great, but for this week and the purposes of the Saints, not this week.
Well, as we're previewing the team, we're on tap, and so let's get into our bon vivant Spike performers. And of course, Bon and Viv, the official Spike seltzer of the NFL. We're running out of time real quick. By the way, check out our Bon and Viv promo, our giveaway. Tell us, I don't even know what we said. Just check it out on our social media feed. Your Bon and Viv Spike performer.
My Bon and Viv Spike performer, assuming he plays, which is the assumption right now, is going to be Michael Thomas against Jalen Ramsey. Okay. As we know with the Saints offense right now, outside of Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, it's kind of missing some playmakers. So when you talk about one of the best lockdown, wide receiver erasers outside of Marshawn Lattimore, it's Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. So that battle is going to be really fun to watch, and Michael Thomas has just got to be able to beat Jalen Ramsey and give, Teddy Bridgewater some chances.
Yeah, what a matchup that's going to be. Thomas has been really it for the receiving core, and we'll hit that in Sip or Chug. For me, it's the Jaguars running back on the other side. I mean, when you talk about a Leonard Fournette, third in the NFL in rushing this year, over 100 in his last 3 games. He's starting to become that dude that they drafted in the first round. That's one of the great running backs in SEC history. Demario Davis specifically. Has there been a linebacker? I mean, he's so good in terms of the way that he tackles, the way that he pursues. But I think as good as Minshew is, as you said, when Fournette gets 20 carries and 100-plus yards, they are really tough to beat. He's starting to become that guy. As much as the Saints' secondary has been the question for us the past couple of weeks, if Fournette gets going and blowing and going, you don't want any part of that dude, man. You just Fournette is a scary human being, even on even in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like LeBron. Even in the NFL, he has this physical advantage that you just don't see. So I think if the Saints can stop Fournette, as much as we love the Minshew magic and everything, if they can stop Fournette, it'll be a long day, I think, for that Jaguars.
Well, the Saints got a 31-game streak of not allowing a 100-yard rusher, so we'll see how that battle ends up. I'm really excited to watch it. Yeah. But we're going to be right back, and we're going to hit some Sip or Chug, our favorite game segment.
Well, we're going to have to refill the beer, man. I need another whole pitcher to chug.
We'll come back with a little more of that.
Strong. Really strong.
With Sip or Chug, my favorite game, and we're already a pitcher into the show.
How far are you into the show? That's what I want to know, man. I like this new deal of just how much we can drink in 15 minutes. I really don't think there's anywhere in the country where you're going to get more Saints talk, better Saints talk, and more beer drunk in 15 minutes than right here on Saints on Tap.
Yeah, you definitely got a point with that.
And I want to say another cheers, of course, to our 4-1 Saints. Who dat, all of our listeners, and of course Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL and the official beer of Saints on Tap. And we now have a mustache on our pitcher.
Had to do it.
Because Gardner Minshew is the man. Sip or Chug, what we got?
All right, Sip or Chug. First question, we got the Jaguars QB of the future is still Nick Foles.
I wish this question was worded the other way so I could chug all the way on Gardner Minshew, because I'm going to sip on Nick Foles. Foles has been a career backup.
Sure.
He won some big games for Philly. They're paying him a bunch of money, which makes it a problem for Jacksonville. But don't look a gift horse in the mouth here. Everyone wants a young, dynamic quarterback that can be the face of your franchise and can market. I think Minshew's the real deal. It's like I said, I talked about. You don't have to have the cannon arm strength and the big size in the NFL these days. You got to be accurate. You got to be poised. You got to know the system, get the ball out. Minshew does all of that. He is a franchise quarterback. I'm ready to say that right now. I don't know what the Jaguars do with Nick Foles, but you asked me between Foles and Minshew.
Yeah.
Minshew magic, baby. I mean, who else can put a mustache on a pitcher?
I'm going to sip as well, and I'm right there with you for all the same reasons. I mean, you can't start Nick Foles after the way that Minshew has come out firing. Yeah. And listen, he might have a great nickname with BDN. Those are the initials. You can figure that out yourself. But he's only been great in Philadelphia. Yeah. He hasn't been great anywhere else. Yeah, we don't know what he would have been with the Jaguars, but we do know what Minshew is.
I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like, okay, Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees. That's a different story, right? Like, you got an established guy. It's not like Nick Foles is the second coming of Joe Montana. You know what I mean? Like, let's not overthink the room here. Like, Minshew's balling. Minshew's the man. Like, double down on Minshew mania.
Well, we're going to double down on Minshew mania right here with the second question, and then we'll move on to some Saints topics. We got Minshew's mustache, chugging or sipping.
I'm going to try to put this back on again. It's not going to work. It fell. And that's just, I'm going to sip, man. Actually, I'm going to sip. I think the mustache is atrocious, but if it works for Gardner, it works for Gardner, and that's all that matters.
Sure.
But like, nah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna sip on the mustache.
Listen, I got mine sitting on my lap ready to go. Chugging
all the way. You're a mustache guy. You're doing good with the mustache. Look at that. Oh yeah, take it all the way down. Minshew magic, baby, at its finest. Gardner would be proud. Gardner would be proud. I mean, he's legendary for some of the stuff that he did in Wazoo. You put the mustache on, you chugged a beer, and you went all in on Minshew magic. Like, that's what I love about you, Joe Simeone.
Listen, most people hate on mustaches. You know, you always got to shave them and everything. He doesn't care, and I love that about Gardner Minshew. He's ready to rock it. He's ready to do his own thing and ready to just be an absolute rock star.
Minshew's meter is down here, but his stardom meter is just increasing.
Absolutely.
It was so crazy, man. I was driving right by his high school the other day and heard Dan Patrick talking about Gardner Minshew as like the face of the NFL.
Yeah, blow your mind.
Exactly. I think we should drink to that. Like, anytime we jinx, we should drinks. You know what I mean?
Nice. All right, next one up, we're going to switch it over to some Saints stuff, and I'm going to switch it up on you, but here we go. We got Latavius Murray, his production moving forward right now. You believe in him or no?
Nah, I don't, man. I haven't been a Latavius Murray guy. I told you when he came in, there was no way he was going to be close to Mark Ingram's production, and like you watch him play and you understand why. He's like, he's one angle, he's one direction, like he's one guy. I just think that I don't think anything that I've seen from Latavius Murray over the first 5 games of the season tells me that he's a guy that's gonna like be a difference maker for the Saints. If there's a crease, if there's a big old hole, Murray will run through it. But like other than that, nah. I think they're in trouble if it's Latavius Murray and no one else. I think they're in huge trouble if Kamara doesn't play.
Yeah, Kamara was on the injury report today, but I think it was just precautionary. But
I'm sipping on that for the record.
Right. I'm right there with you, though. Mm-hmm. I was in the beginning defending Latavius Murray, but this guy's just a straight line runner, and he runs too high. He doesn't even, he's not a power runner either, which is exactly what they need. They need that Mark Ingram, that tone setter guy, and Latavius Murray's just not that. So hopefully Alvin Kamara will be all right and play, but we'll see.
I tried to tell you, bro.
I know.
I tried to tell you about Latavius.
All right, wait,
now I was a lot wrong on a lot of other stuff, but I tried to tell you about Latavius. Then you watch him, and you're like, how did this guy get 1,400 yards?
Let's hit one last thing before the trade deadline and before we finish this game. But the Saints have to make a move for a wide receiver.
I'm going to chug all the way. I'm going to go ahead and finish this whole thing.
All right. There you go. You got it down.
I'm going to give you the guy. Bring me Dez Bryant. I need Dez Bryant in my life, man.
All right.
They tried this last year. It didn't quite work for a lot of other reasons.
Sure.
Now they're in more of a need with more of a chance.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's Dez or not, but you literally have Michael Thomas and no one else.
Yeah.
Like Ted Ginn will make an appearance every now and then. Kamara's great out of the backfield. You don't want to stress that at all. I think the Saints have to look at bringing in someone else, like Trey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna chug as well.
This will be 2 pitchers down here by the end of it.
I don't care who it is. Dez Bryant.
Here,
AJ Green.
Let me share some with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Nice. I mean, I didn't want to take the whole picture myself.
This is why you drink with your buddies.
That's right, exactly.
But yeah, I don't care if it's Dez Bryant, AJ Green, Emmanuel Sanders, whether it's a trade, whether it's a free agent, whatever. They need to find someone else.
I mean, like the AJ Green thing isn't happening. The Stephon Diggs thing isn't happening. The Dez Bryant thing is a real possibility.
Everybody's
Maybe
got a
it's fool's
price.
gold and reaching in the sky. Everybody's got a price.
Come on.
We have a price. That's why we brought on Bud Light and Bon Vivant, man. But no, cheers to the Bud Light thing. And I think we got a last call before we wrap it up, man.
I want to hear yours first.
I think you're still thinking of your last call. I was looking at some stats and doing some actual research because believe it or not, we don't just like pull up to the table and drink beer. We really know the team. Aside from Michael Thomas, there's not a single Saints player anywhere in any top 10 anywhere in the NFL. Even with the defensive line, it's got a lot of sacks. Okay, there's 6 in the league in sacks, what have you. Like Marcus Davenport has 3. It's the most on the team. Kamara's got 1 touchdown. Even Kamara is outside the top 10.
Sure.
There's nothing that's more indicative than of the way the whole team has come together. Coaching staff, special teams, defense, run game, Bridgewater, then the fact that, you know, they're 4-1, and you look at this team statistically, and there's nowhere to be found anywhere in the top half, team or even individual, other than Michael Thomas. And I just think it's as great a testament and like fun to see as anybody of what a team start this has been.
Absolutely. My last call is going to be the Saints are an absolute tone setter right now. They are keeping the pace in the NFL, and they're going to have to keep it up because first seed, number 1 seed is immensely important, especially for a dome team like the Saints. And so I think they need to keep this up, and I think they will throughout the year. Wow, you finished up. I'm going to have to finish up right here. Take us
We gotta
out.
close it up. Saints on Tap, presented by Bud Light, ISO Joe Simeone, John Wiener, down with the mustache, spotted cat-led people.